In 1987 Philippine Constitution, Republic Act 14, Section 19, the state shall promote physical education and encourage sports programs, league competitions, and amateur sports, including training for international competitions to foster self-discipline, teamwork, and excellence for the development of a healthy and alert citizenry. All educational institutions shall undertake regular sports activities throughout the country in cooperation with athletic clubs and other sectors. The historical background of the physical education in the Philippines are composed of pre-Spanish period, Spanish period, American period, Japanese period, and post-war to present period. Negritos and Aitas are the primitive people in the pre-Spanish era. The physical activities happened in this era are hunting with the use of bow and arrow, fishing in the form of swimming and diving, and planting fruits and vegetables to produce food for the tribe. They also run, leap, jump, climb, and throw that helps them to catch food to eat and protect themselves to any harm. Negritos and Aitas do dance for recreational activities. Dancing in this era was a form of religiousness and rituals. The dances are performed to praise their anitos and gods, to cure sickness, to call for rain when drought occurs, and after a bountiful harvest. And lastly, the famous cockfighting was developed in pre-Spanish period. Spanish period. In Spanish period, the major physical activities that are enjoyed by the people is dancing. These dances were introduced during the time of colonization. These dances are adopted and being the folk dances in the Philippines, such as fandango, jota, curacha of Spain, polka and mazurka of Central Europe, lancheros and reggaeton of France, that is introduced by the coloners, and later on it was converted to ceremonial dance during Santa Cruzan. There are also recreational games for girls and boys that are introduced in this era. For girls, these are sungka, siklot, luksong tinig, piko, and tagu-taguan. While for the boys, these are patintero, sipa, and kite flying. In 1867, horse racing is a high recreational activity that was held at the Manila Jockey Club. Manila Jockey Club was a member of Asian Racing Federation. It was established in Ramona, Cavite, but shut down in 1880. American period. In 1901, the development of physical exercise as a subject introduced in public schools and regular athletics program. In 1905, baseball and track and field was introduced and taught in young men. In 1909, the athletic program for schools emphasized the playing of Western sports and coaching of tennis. And in 1910, basketball was first introduced to be played by girls in carnival meet in Manila. But it was stopped because it seems that it was strenuous for girls. Later on, the indoor baseball, tennis, and volleyball were introduced. In 1911, publication of Athletic Handbook by the Bureau of Education, where the first part of the book is the prescribed simple games and relays, while in the second part is contained with the rules and regulations of baseball, basketball for girls, indoor baseball, volleyball, track and field, and lawn tennis. Still in 1911, the Philippine Amateur Athletic Federation, or PAAF, was organized to control amateur sports in the Philippines, like basketball, boxing, tennis, football, billiard, and volleyball. In 1914, the Bureau of Education implemented the Play for Everybody. The Teacher's Vacation in Manila gave special training for Filipino teachers so that they could apply it in conducting physical education in provincial normal school. In March 5, 1919, the publication of a syllabus entitled Physical Education, a Manual for Teachers. In 1920, the implementation of physical education as a required subject in the curriculum of all public schools. In 1928, a summer school for coaching was held. It was opened by the Office of the National Physical Education Director and with the Bureau of Education, wherein the teachers in charge with the physical education are trained to improve their learning methods. In 1937, the physical education was a curricular subject in the secondary schools, and in 1939, track and field for the girls are opened. Wow! Japanese period! In Luneta Park, the Japanese Military Administration obliged the public schools to perform calisthenics called Radio Taiso. Radio Taiso is the stretching of all parts of the body, like arms, chest, and hips, and it requires full extension of hands and body. While doing the Radio Taiso, there will be an instructor that will count and give commands. In Philippines, the Philippine Sports Commission, or PSC, was created through Republic Act No. 6847 in 1990 to serve as the sole policy-making and coordinating body of all amateur sports development programs and instructions in the Philippines. It was mandated to provide the leadership, formulate the policies, and sets the priorities and directions of all national sports promotion and development, particularly giving emphasis on grassroots participation. Increased participation in sports by Filipinos, excellence in sports performance by Filipinos, and national unity and solidity through physical fitness and sports are among its objectives. Filipinos are already participating in Olympics since 1924 to 2000. David Nepomuceno is one of the athletes competing in the 100-meter and 200-meter dash in 1924 Olympiad in Paris. The representative and official coach of Nepomuceno is Dr. Eugenio R. Ilanan. Other years that the Philippines have been competing are in 1928 in Amsterdam, 1932 in Los Angeles, 1936 in Berlin, 1964 in Tokyo, 1988 in Seoul, 1992 in Barcelona, and 1996 in Atlanta. Some of the greatest athletes that represents the Philippines in abroad are the following. Efren Bata Reyes, aka The Magician, he became the 1985 Red 9 Ball champion for his ability to execute brilliant shots in billiards. Manny Pacquiao is an 8-time division world champion in boxing. He faced the most undisputed boxers around the world and defeat them. Heidelin Diaz is the newest Olympic champion of the 224 kg weightlifting in 2021 Tokyo Olympics.